Yo!
Yayo Talk Show!
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Molly.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Marco.
Dreamin'!
Don't give it up, Katie.
Dreamin'!
Al's name didn't fit. They talk about the show, this group of four friends been going for 1,000,000 years, there's no end. Watching every arc and saga, no sleep. It's the king of anime, 1,000 episodes deep.
Yayo Talk Show!
Talking about One Piece.
It's the name of the podcast.
We're not on Vine. Yayo Talk Show. Talking about
One Piece.
Hey Molly, is there anything you want to talk about?
I feel like I'm gonna black out before we even get to where I want to be.
What's up, wedges, privateers, and non-binary buccaneers? Welcome aboard the most chaotic One Piece podcast on the Grand Line Internet. As the Fire Festival begins in modern-day Wano, we flash back to take an extended look at some of our favorite buff old men, and by our, I mean our captain, Molly D. Simpy.
Hello? Hi, I'm normal and happy to be here.
Totally.
Speaking of normal, we have the wild theorist, Kaden Jensen.
Okay,
called
be prepared
Kaden
for the most caked up hour and a half of your lives. And
Speaking
watch
of
it be
caked
longer
up,
than an hour and a half.
We have the left boy, Al McClellan.
All right. Why is everybody
Damn.
so mean to me?
Oh my god. Why is
Caked up means you got a
mean?
fat ass, Mark.
God, I
Al.
immediately.
Wow. Wow.
Immediately.
Wow.
Blacked
Speaking of
out.
being confused for somebody else, I'm the internet's gentleman, Mark Vidonica. And the B stands for Bonesman.
The B stands
Wow.
for Al.
We are still at the beginning of our ridiculous recording schedule that we're going to have for the next couple of weeks, and we're gone. The rails never existed, as if you ever thought they did, but they're gone.
I just appreciate that we all knew what I was going to be like this episode, and you guys are
Feral.
all raising. Yeah, you guys are all raising the energy to meet me at this level.
Well, what is it? A rising tide raises all boats?
Lifts all ships,
Lifts all
but
boats.
okay.
Whatever.
No, don't whatever. Don't whatever. You asked, right? And
I
I
didn't
said
ask.
no. You said it's like a rising, right? I'm like, no.
Hang on, we're gonna look at the board, and yeah, it is not swag ever, dude. It's not.
Yeah. It's not.
Aw. You know what is swag ever? Finally learning about this guy that everybody's been talking about.
We're just gonna roll
Kozuki
into it. Rolling
Oden.
into it. We're gonna roll. We're just gonna go right into it. We're gonna go
Yeah.
right into it.
I wouldn't.
I mean, Molly, you've been wanting to talk about a lot of the stuff that happens in this section of the show for Chex Watch about 2 years and a month. So
We know it. We know it to be true because we have a stamp date on
we have
it.
a
There are
timestamp.
receipts.
There are receipts specifically of me and things that I've said that I don't regret.
Finally.
Definitely that.
Finally can talk about the Giga-Chads.
I did note last episode that my notes for Act 2 were super dense. Do you want to know what my notes for Act 3 are?
Does it just say "Let Molly go off, Queen"?
No.
It doesn't say that exactly, but it does say introduce Molly and let her go. Just let her talk. Just let her
Oh,
talk.
man. This is the equivalent that we just showed up to the dog park and you guys have just let me off leash and I'm just fucking zooming
Golden
around.
Retriever. Lose.
This is Chihuahua Molly energy where we just like, all right, Molly, go play. It's like
Run,
This is me like throwing this episode to make Molly lead without telling her that I was going to do so, and she's like, "That's fine," because I know what.
Marine
I know what we're
Ford
talking
Part 4.
Yeah, Marine
Finally.
Ford.
I'm not even hungover for this one. I got a good night's sleep. I got my vitamin. I woke up early, walked 2 miles to the farmer's market. I got eggs. I'm living. I'm ready.
I got eggs.
I got eggs.
I
You
got eggs.
I got eggs.
In this economy, dude, I got eggs, all right?
She's winning.
Dude.
This
You're
portion of Wano is from the perspective of Kozuki Oden and his journal.
AKA Giga-Chad's journal.
Yeah, GigaChad's journal, essentially documenting his times when he left Wano, which, as we've all learned up to this point, is a closed-off nation. So it's their isolationist country, I guess is a better way to say it. And Oden just has this sense of adventure And upon the arrival, and I know what I'm about to say, and this is going to be another instance where Molly will probably just go, but not off and not queen, but upon the arrival to Wano of the Whitebeard pirates, that is Odin's ticket to be like, oh, cool, take me with you. Let's go.
I'll be a little nice because there is set up before the Whitebeard Pirates show.
Okay, good. I didn't know what exactly.
There's something very funny. I'll start this and then we can all talk about it. But like, there's something really funny about meeting Odin and seeing everybody's like, he was so like history, the way history talks about Odin, and then actually seeing who Odin is and being like, well, they're not wrong, but they really like forgot to mention a lot of the other stuff.
There's some things they should have said.
Yeah, and it's just really funny where it's like you meet this guy, like everybody fucking remembers so fondly, and this guy, they're burning an old man for cremation, and he uses the fire from the cremation to do a pot of Odin, and the women at the funeral are like, he's so hot. And it's just like, what is the vibe here? And the way they write that off as kosher is being like, yes, boys will be boys. We've all done silly things when we were young. And it's like, not this silly, dude.
Silly? That's a dead burning man.
Yeah, I do. I love.
Depends on who the guy is.
I guess that's fair.
Thanks for the drink.
This whole flashback from beginning to end, I love so dearly. Even before we get to the Whitebeard Pirates and the Roger, like all that stuff, before we get to any of that flashback stuff, like meeting the people who we've known for a little bit now, like Kinemon and Raizo and that whole group, of seeing what they were up to before they became these legendary warriors. And like Kinemon is like
he's a punk.
He's got like blonde curly hair and he's stealing from his future wife and like causes a big kerfuffle in town. And
do you know what Odin really kind of reminds me of?
What?
Is
Giga-Chad?
like no, like so sit back for a second. I want to describe what Odin is as a character, but like if he was a person in real life. He's that person who you grew up with, you knew about, has some well-to-do something a little bit. Doesn't really flaunt that part of it. Kind of distances themselves from it. A little bit of a punk, causes trouble every time, is late to class every time, like intentionally knocks books off the table and is just like, that's a distraction, and then just runs out, and everybody's like, okay, we're gonna sit in class and stay here. And everybody's like, what a jerk. What an absolute jerk. What a loser. What a weirdo. What a freak. Blah, 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 blah in high school.
Yeah.
Cut to like 10 years later. And they're like, I'm working at an Applebee's and I'm a manager and look at me working at an Applebee's. And then in comes the dude who's like, what a freak. Comes in, rolls in, is just like, hey, sup, here's me and all my cool people that I hang out with all the time because like, I'm just kind of chill like that. And we don't really need to do anything other than be ourselves. And like, we just go based off vibes. And it's like, oh, but I'm able to pay off my mortgage by working at the Applebee's. It's like, dude, you have a mortgage? What a loser. And then he walks out. It's like, oh, I am emotionally crushed. Maybe I should have taken more of a page from this guy when I was younger. That's Odin. That's Odin. That's the dude who comes in and is just like, hey, remember you guys making fun of me earlier? I haven't really changed at all. I'm the same free spirit I always have been, and I'm going to keep rocking it forever. And you guys thought it was a freak thing, but now you're wishing it was you. You're wishing it was you.
Least likely to succeed guy from high school is the one running for a local election in your community.
President Odin. It's like, how did he
heir
win?
apparent.
He just kind of showed up, and he was the only one who showed up that like was just like, it's swag
what
ever.
I call it nepotism, but it's pretty damn close.
Well,
I
the
mean,
thing is, like, he
it's
said
literally
no.
that, isn't it? He's son of the.
He
He is son of the Shogun, but he
Yeah.
also doesn't want that.
He
But
also-
he is also acknowledging that and utilizing that freedom of being the son of the
also
Shogun just to live
straight up
however he
got
wants.
Disowned.
He's testing the boundaries, whatever
He's-
opportunity.
his-
he
Well, the
gets.
thing
His
is, he did for a
dad-
bit, and then he straight up got disowned. It's like, get out of here. Nobody wants you here. Get out. Go, go, go. You're
Awesome.
banished
Caden.
and gone. and
Aces,
then they're
let's
just like,
go.
oh, please come back. Please, please,
Caden.
please, please.
Caden, they disowned him, and they were like, "This is really going to teach him a lesson." And he was like, he said, "Swag ever,"
ever.
and they're like, "What? It's not swag ever," and he's already
No.
gone.
But the lessons.
The dad, like, he was
The
literally
lesson
like,
is, this is
"Heck
what I
yeah!"
wanted.
He literally was
I'm
like,
outta
"I
here."
got permission from Dad to go off," and he was like, "No."
Come back here so I can yell at you.
This is
Sorry, I'm
exactly it.
exiled.
This is exactly it. It's Mark saying, go off, Queen, and expecting Molly to say one thing once, and then Molly just going off. It's like, that's not what I meant.
Is
not
Molly
what it is.
Not what I
Kozuki
meant.
Odin?
Yeah, he took. Am I Giga-Chad? Oh my god!
Look,
Molly is
I was
Giga-Chad.
gonna say that one of the things that I think everybody pulled from this was Odin, at least like reminds me a lot of Luffy's free spirit,
Yes.
Yeah.
and so the fact that it's so easy to just immediately fall in love with this character, even like because of all of the reasons that we've mentioned, as well as the reasons that characters have mentioned, and yeah, that's Molly is also Odin confirmed.
The other thing I love, like seeing how all of this comes together, how these legendary warriors come together. Odin meets all of these people, and they're like, "Whoa, you're a freak. I'm going to be one of your followers." And him being like, "Dude, that's cringe. I don't want that." And then him being like casually stopping to do like hot pot on his travels, and people just sitting down and eating from the pot, and him being like, "I didn't invite you to this." And they're like, yeah, it's swag ever, it's swag ever. Anyway, what's up with you, man? What's going on with you? And like literally everybody, all of his retainers, that is verbatim how he's met everyone. Like the cat and dog and
Nekomamushi and Inuarashi and Kawamatsu.
they're like literally they're literally like, it's the meme of the couple getting married and the guy turning to look at the guy in a Speedo like walking on the like through the water or whatever, of like Oda was fishing and those three were on like on
They were being burned alive
Yeah,
for being
and-
freaks.
and like the just casually stops it and they're like, "Cool, we're with you forever now." And he's like, "What?"
Wait, what?
My
He's like-
favorite part is something that like permeates this entire arc, and it's probably my favorite thing that Wano has done so far. Is anytime somebody does something that the person doesn't like, they make this like face, and it starts with Odin, and then Whitebeard does it, and then Rogers does it, and they're all just like, "Ugh." It's like, stop it, stop. Well, I'm gonna do this forever. It's like, ew, don't. Please go away.
Disgusted.
Remember, okay, all right, before we started, no, I think we talked about it already, but like when we said we've been waiting at least 2 years to talk about this part, we have been waiting since I think the beginning of the podcast, like in the early stage of the podcast, to add the disgusted emotes to our Discord. We've been waiting so long for this.
Like
I'm
this
so
one, as well as
excited.
the Wano faces from Robin and
Yep.
Usopp and Frankie,
Yeah.
Odin, Whitebeard. Yeah, no, the facial expressions like being
So
so
funny.
theatrical and so like they would only fit here. And
The
like
melodrama.
Here's my
in
question.
reading and catching up, there's going to be so many more that are like
Here's my
such an
question.
interesting out of place business. What's your question,
Can we
Kaden?
replace all of our Twitch emotes with those? Like everything gets replaced for like, hey, for the next like month, these are the only emotes we have, and it's all just various forms of disgust.
Hot
Only
Wano
if-
Summer, absolutely.
Yeah,
Hot
only
Wano
if
Summer!
whatever we're playing is really cringe and they have to emote in a cringe way to help.
Ah, yes.
Molly, you have a
Like
question.
things
You in the front?
cringily.
I had that was for the emote thing I was just talking about.
Molly talking with her hand up the entire time.
That's
Yeah,
absolutely Molly energy.
forgot I had my hand up. I'll be honest.
Speaking of suggestions, I know we've talked about this having like different versions of ourselves for the Wano arc because of the with the little PNG tubers. I nominate Molly as Odin, wearing Odin's outfit.
All right.
I think
Molly's
it's
in.
I think it'd be cool. I think, but especially because, and what made me think that is because Mark said, yeah, Odin carrying that same free spirit energy that then like kind of like touches into Luffy's personality. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, perfect. So Molly is Odin.
Wow.
We're about to have a lot more conversations.
I'm like really touched. I'm like probably one of
Molly
the
is
nicest
a Giga-Chad.
Molly,
the nicest things
Giga-Chad,
anybody's ever said to me.
Odin.
I do respect women. I could be the perfect man. I don't know. I could be. I don't want to. I don't
Molly
want to.
Flood, the perfect man.
I don't want to speak for myself, but we'll put it to a vote, I guess.
All right, sound off with the reviews and everything. Let us know in your iTunes reviews, your comments on Spoofy, wherever else you put your stuff about Yayo Talk Show on social media. Molly Flood, the perfect man. Just know.
Oh my god! I on an
Yes, absolutely, and for sure, I rigged it.
No, it's the
There's
gravity.
no objection anymore.
It's the Gravity Falls. Yes, definitely, absolutely.
I rigged it.
it. Yeah. As in a related note, I did have to explain what Giga-Chad was to my parents while I was home on vacation.
How did that go?
And I'm still thinking about it today. It's been like at least a week, and I don't.
Any regretty?
Not a regretty, but I do resent Gen Z for having it come to this. Okay, I know it's cringe that they're saying it, but you're the reason I had to explain it to them. All right, think about that. All right,
Disgusting.
think about that.
Molly,
disgusting.
as millennials, we have so much to answer for. Leave them alone.
Yeah, but I've also explained all of that, and I don't think it's up to me to explain the Gen Z
Time
side
marches
of it.
on, Molly.
All right. I'm just trying to be Giga-Chad out here, and the Giga-Chad haters are holding me back.
They're not holding you back, Molly.
Oh,
They're
man.
following you around, and you're making the ooh face.
Don't follow me around, dude.
They're
Just
your
'cause I
9
make a
red scabbards,
delicious-
Molly.
Just because I make a delicious freaking hot pot, man, and you're welcome to it, doesn't mean you get to be so obsessed with me.
Yeah, Molly, you make a delicious hot pot. You make a delicious hot pot, and you make a delicious hot pot.
That's
Oh my
the
god,
like
she just made a
literal.
hot pot on my dead grandpa.
Oh my god.
Hope you
God,
guys are
sorry.
ready for that joke to sting in about 15 minutes.
Sorry. I like you guys. I brought it up, and then we're still talking about it on the walk back from the farmers market. I did see like one of those like funeral processions where they're all in cars on the way home.
And you were
now
like, I'm hungry for soup.
Yeah. No, but as oh no, did I lose it? What was I gonna say? Kazuki Uda. I can't remember.
Kazuki Udon.
Kazuki?
I already forgot.
Molly,
Dang, I had a
Molly,
perfect
say it with me.
segue.
Say it with me. Kazuki Odin.
All right, I was laughing when I tried.
Kazuki
Kazuki Odin.
Kozuki Odin.
I thought it was Kozuki with an O.
Yeah, Kozuki.
Kazuki Odin. Kazuki Odin.
Wow. It's gonna come back to me. We're gonna be in the middle of a thought of like
And
I
you're
had
gonna
the
yell the answer out real loud.
yes. I had the perfect of like this is actually why I'm Odin, and I lost it already. It's fine.
That's why
It'll
you're
come back to
Odin.
me. Yeah, it'll come back to me. It's fine.
Well, it's
Yeah.
called Wanderlust.
this-
Wanoderlust.
We got there.
You I don't know, Molly. I think that was a little generous.
We
But
got
okay.
there. We got there.
We did
That's
it.
a
We
win.
figured it out.
That's a win for all of us. I'm gonna take it.
honestly, Odin and Luffy's stuff really rhymes and really kind of like mirrors each other because like as Odin is kind of going along, it's just like hey, we met a bunch of weirdos. It's like, well, you're cool. Maybe we just hang out now. And it's like, sure, why not? And
I
like
remembered.
Odin makes the face, but like Odin's just like, yeah, sure, why not? And cares a lot about them and everything like that. He and Luffy do things slightly differently, but it's the same amount of just like, well, I'm not gonna have a big group of people. I'm only gonna have a small group of weirdos that I really want around me. This is my small group of weirdos.
I
And-
remembered.
Hi, we're the Grand Fleet.
Go away.
I remembered the real reason why I'm Odin. It's specifically for the times when he says, like, when he's just like, oh, why are you guys so obsessed with me? That's the reason why oh, why are you guys so obsessed with me?
And the
Don't hold
thought
my
of
hand.
A
Don't hold my hand.
funeral procession reminded you of that?
No, I was already thinking about it, and then I segued because I heard the Al said the cremation thing again, and then I remembered the funeral thing. But like the real thing, the very beginning of like why I should be Odin is the part where he's like cringing at people being like, "I'm gonna follow you," and I'm like, "Oh, why are you so obsessed with me?
Please don't.
Don't.
Ugh.
Phenomenal.
Why are you so obsessed with me?"
I
Anyway,
love
we got there,
Molly's
fam.
thought process
We
sometimes
got there, fam.
because like I can follow it because ADHD is a bitch. But like I can
The
follow
will
it
of
and it's just like,
ADHD.
and it totally makes sense to me. And when I try and explain it in another way to like other people, it's like, what the hell is wrong with you? It's like, oh, I thought it was a great thing, and Molly is wonderful. And it's like, you guys are weird. It's like, you know what? Yeah, we're freaks of the week.
Absolute best moments are when Kaden and I are having a clown to clown connection, and I just say the most unhinged thing, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Molly. I'm there with you 100%.
I've never been more seen in those moments when you know exactly. Mark and Al are letting it happen, but like I know that you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of that exactly, Molly, I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna set you up for something big. So, like, we've been talking about Odin, and everything about this goes through Odin's story, and everything about it is really like cool and nuanced and everything like that. And it's like I'm supposed to be reading these things basically right up to the point we're supposed to be recording. So I finished reading all this stuff this morning. However, to quote Mark, after reading chapter 965, watch episodes 966 through 968, and then go back to reading chapter 968 and carry on through 973, which is where we will be finding ourselves at the end of this one today. But if I wanted to keep watching, I could have watched until the last episode, which is 975. So, and the point was, hey, why am I doing this? Why am I specifically doing this? And it's just like, why is it specifically these episodes? And I made a kitschy little post about it somewhere. Figure out which social media I posted it on and win a prize, which is seeing it. But the point is like, why of those episodes? Why those episodes specifically? Why those episodes specifically? And like, I'm thinking maybe there's a big battle thing. Maybe there's something blah, blah, blah. And then Mark was just like, well, it's important to Molly. Molly says it's important. And I'm just like, okay, Marco's shirtless. It's old men. And it's all this other stuff. And I'm like, tee hee ha ha ha. Molly, you want to tell everybody what's in those 3 episodes?
Oh, is this? I can go off now. I can talk about. Is this
Go
was this
off,
set up
comma, not queen.
Okay, I was like, I wasn't sure if there was something specifically you wanted me to talk about, and I was like, oh my god, she's giving me 3 episodes to figure out what she wants me to talk about.
We
I
would
was
love
like,
for you to gush about the young Whitebeard pirates and the
Ugh,
young
you
Roger
guys,
pirates.
how many times, how many nights have I restlessly slept, worried about Oda not drawing Whitebeard hot? And you know
Hey.
what? I didn't need to be worried because he nailed the assignment. I don't know if you guys could hear it in my tone of voice. Also, for listeners at home, my hair has grown out quite long. It's like to my shoulders at the moment. I was flicking my hair because when we meet Whitebeard originally, love him, can't get enough of him, but at the end of his life, I don't know if it's the cancer or if it was an aesthetic choice, but dude was bald, wearing a bandana. And you'll never believe who had gorgeous blonde locks. I mean, we kind of already knew because there were like when he died, we saw a flashback and they were like, "Yo, man, what's up with you?" And he was like, "I really want a family." And then he died, but guess what? He's still hot. He was still hot.
He was drawn hot.
Listen, I wish I had his hair, all right? Beautiful curls, wavy, blonde.
But I guess to answer your question, how long have you waited? Does anyone remember when Whitebeard appeared in the manga? It's been that long.
Originally?
Do you mean the flashback when he died, or
he
when
died
we
in
started talking about it?
His first appearance is.
Oof.
Oh, that was before, but he died for sure in 2008.
I love the fact that it's just like he died so long ago. Anyway, here he is right now. to bring it to your attention, here he is, Edward Newgate. With
Caden, can I get a Guess Who's Still Dead Part 2?
Guess who's still dead? Still.
Thank you. I love this flashback because we finally get some lore, dude. We see who was in the original Whitebeard Pirates, and Moby. Moby's there. They didn't have another ship. It's just Moby. Just no Moby. Moby crashes in Wano, and they're like, "Man, big L. We'll take the L, but we got to get out of here. We got to fix up the boat. It's gonna take a while." And then, like, I don't know, somebody who lives in like the countryside of Europe feels a bad energy and is like, "A wild hog is coming. The wild hogs are coming," and Odin just runs out of the forest and attacks the Whitebeard pirates because he's just so unhinged. As a true Giga-Chad,
he goes over there. He's just like, immediately attacks Whitebeard, and he's just like, "Yo, take me with you."
As he's attacking, it's like,
our captain. We're not gonna take you with us. And Whitebeard's just like, no, we're not gonna take you with us. And he's like grinning the entire time. Odin grabs onto the thing on the back of the boat and is being dragged for 3 days.
Marty McFly style.
You're skipping ahead. We're not there yet.
It's just so funny, though. It's just like, I'm going to attack you. We're not letting you join. Okay, we're going to drag you behind our boat for 3 days.
They end the chapter with Odin attacking Whitebeard, and his response as he's attacking Whitebeard is, "Let me join you. Like, get me out of here." And they're like, "Huh?" And then hard cut to the next chapter where Odin's retainers have shown up, and they're literally Whitebeard is literally fist bumping one of them and being like, "Don't worry, bro. I was never gonna let this fool out of here." Like, they're all like, "We're on the same page. Hey, this guy's crazy.
Good, we need this guy. We need this guy. All right, it's fine."
Odin just being like absolutely betrayed and be like, "Dude, come on. This is my whole thing. I want to leave.
I want to go on a road trip."
And I love that Whitebeard's like, "Then just do it, man." He's like, "I've tried. I'm not good at sailing, okay?" And they're like, "Sounds like a you problem." I love seeing little Marco. I love seeing 15-year-old Marco join the crew. Like, Icy Bay is still there. She's still part of the crew. We see Jozu, who has the diamond ability. We see, who's the sword guy? I'm just a fake fan. White beard commanders, but like we see so many of the original like. We see so many of the
She's checking her personal folder, not the internet.
Yeah.
Molly has like a Rolodex.
No, she has a little like folded up thing of little 4x8s in her wallet that she's going through.
Vista, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I'm looking at the wall. I have a giant wall in front of me, and I'm gonna have to like go through. I have to go through up and down to find the guys I'm talking about. But yeah, all of these guys and lady that we've seen at Marineford. I mean, it's like literally the moments where they're like, it's like, "Watch out, it's Diamond Jozu." And it's like when they're like name dropping everybody, but we have no reference for why these guys are a big deal. We just know they're part of the Whitebeard crew. We finally get to see them all like with the origins of it. I think it's nice. I think it's cute. I like it. I like that we get to see them all young and hot and
Uh-huh.
I just think
Something
it's
that I'm surprised you didn't bring up is we find out how Izo joins the crew.
well, we're not there
because-
yet. I'm still talking about them being on the beach of Wano.
Yeah,
Always
well,
still talking about Whitebeard being hot.
Izo and
Izo.
Kiku become retainers of Odin before Whitebeard shows up,
I mean,
and so the
You got me there.
we see
I was distracted. Okay.
we see
I'm
Izo and
thinking about-
Kiku are siblings and
Yeah.
are more people that follow Odin, and it's this journey with Whitebeard that leads
Yeah.
Izo to being like, I'm gonna vibe with Whitebeard.
I do love that their origins, specifically the siblings, that they dance. Like they were specifically like fan dancers or some type of very specific dancing, which is why they lean more towards wearing kimonos and like wearing like I don't know why I keep saying lip liner in my head. They're wearing makeup or, like at least lipstick or whatever. And it's like leaning towards the origins of like, well, if you didn't want them to dress like that, then you shouldn't have had them dancing like that. You know what I mean? Like, can't be mad about it later in life because they look so good. But yeah, we find out that obviously Izo is not, wasn't always a Whitebeard pirate. And we see that they are specifically part of the Gozuku, the Giga-Chad followers.
Gozuku.
Gozuku? Oh, yeah.
That's what you just said.
That's what you said, Molly.
I was like, who's that? I said,
Who the hell
You
is
sound like a
crazy.
crazy person.
You're a madman. Who would say that? Anyway, now we can talk about the part where they're like, all right, we're going to get all fixed up. And they're like, swag ever, do what you got to do, but you're not allowed to take Odin with you. And they're like, haha, we know. And they like all laugh. They group laugh. Except for Odin, because he's like, that's not, come on. I'm right here, you guys. And then like days later, specifically Odin's like gets up. They're like, hey, where you going? He's like, dude, I'm going to can a man go take a dump in peace? I gotta go to the bathroom. And they're like, oh yeah, he's just going to the bathroom. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have doubted you. Hard cut to him running towards the beach. And the Whitebeard pirates are trying to like slip away in the middle of the night so that it doesn't become an issue. And he's like, I knew you would do this. So Izo and Odin are hanging onto the chain of the Moby Dick as it sets sail away from Wano. And we get into a situation where Whitebeard's like, hey man, I love your Giga-Chad vibe. I'm all about it. But I just left a crew of for everybody it's the main character. And I can't do I'm not putting my family at risk for that, okay? I'm the main character. I'm daddy here, okay?
Only enough room for one Giga-Chad on this giant boat.
Exactly. There's only room for one Giga Daddy here. And
I'm
he's
the
like,
Giga Chad. You're Giga Charles.
yeah, Charles,
Giga Chatty?
Giga Chuck.
Giga Chatty.
Chuck.
Oh my god. Anyway, they do the thing where it's like, if you could hold on to the anchor for 3 days, we will allow you to be part of the crew, because that, I guess there's determination in the, I don't know. Boys will be boys, I suppose. But also,
Whitebeard thinks it's funny.
yeah, that I think let the record show that he thought that would be a funny bit, and it was. But they did let Izo up. And Izu was like, I'll never forgive you. Like a true father and son relationship. And man, he's out there. He's out there for like 2
days, 23 hours.
Yes, thank you. And I just love that, like, it's that thing.
3D 23H.
I was just talking to Kaden about it when I forced her to watch an anime I've been wanting her to watch with me.
I'm caught up, by the way.
Yeah! But like it's that storyline, that type of character that I love, I absolutely love, where you're so passionate or earnest about a specific thing, it changes the minds around you, for the better. And as Odin is out there for almost 3 days, everybody starts cheering for him. And they're like like literally the last day being like, dude, what the heck? Don't cheer for him. He's like, why not? In like 10 minutes, he's going to be part of our crew anyway. And they're like, oh yeah, go on. And it's just, it's so cute. And like a true Giga-Chad, because remember, as the song states, he respects women. He's the perfect man. He hears a woman in distress and lets go of the anchor like a minute before he would have been part of the crew. He could have just held on and then let go to save this woman, but he had his priorities in line.
Chad's gonna chat.
And then we meet anyone.
I thought, I don't know if this is a situation where you're going to tell the answer or you're legitimately asking us.
Is this like questions to the
Where's the
students,
quiz
or-
music?
Man, I don't even know. Hiyori's
Oh, it's just
mom.
like,
What's her
and then
name?
we meet. and
There it
then we
is.
meet-
That's the real thing. This is where Odin meets his wife, Toki.
Toki, thank you.
But
knew
at
it.
first, Odin's just like, ugh, because she's like,
Gross.
my dream is to
Women.
go to Wano. No, my dream is to go to Wano. He goes, ugh. It's like, no. And then even Whitebeard is just like, she's like, my dream is to go to Wano. And Whitebeard's just like, ugh.
We're not going back
Just
there.
left there.
We
It
just
was
came
like-
from there. We're pirates. We're going to go somewhere else.
That's the equivalent of your dad just drove by a rest stop and you go, Dad, I gotta go to the bathroom, and he looks back at you with that face of like, no, we just like, or it's like, Dad, I left something
You're
at
on
home
the entrance ramp to the highway.
yeah, before an 8-hour car trip, and you go, Dad, I forgot something. And he gives you that look. He's like, we're not going back. That sounds like a you problem.
But yeah, eventually they do get married and have kiddos.
I love Toki. I love her energy. She's just like swag ever. It's not working out here. I'm gonna do another jump. I'm gonna do another jump to the future because she's so cool.
Maybe
She's
the
so
next jump
cool.
will be the jump home.
That takes me home.
Yeah.
Hey, you kind of buried the lead there that Toki can travel through time only
Yep.
Yeah,
forward.
but she's not Whitebeard, young hot Whitebeard, so you don't have to talk
And
about
she
it.
was born 800 years ago.
Yes.
That's a number we've been hearing for a while.
That sure is.
Huh.
Mhm.
This
I wonder if
won't
that'll
come
come
back
up.
for any reason.
Probably not. I think Oda just likes that number. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how Pixar does the number of the Cal Arts room that they put it everywhere. I think he just likes 800. I don't think that's relevant in any way.
Let's not worry about it.
And there's certainly nothing that time travel can introduce into a dense series that can change any sort of possible theory or idea of
No.
anything that's come before, right?
No. We're talking about One Piece here? Come on, pal. How many episodes are we into this now? And you're asking these types of questions?
968.
Aww. Okay. Man.
Isn't Toki like an onomatopoeia for the sound a clock makes?
Is it?
I think that's right. And I'm
Okay.
taking another question off of the game show.
Nice.
Oh, it's Al's
Ah.
problem this time, not me.
A
Suck
point
it,
I
Al.
don't get to have.
It's also
Just like all the swearing.
it's also another instance of Oda naming a female character after a bird.
Oh, that's nice.
Chirp.
I like birds. Speaking of birds,
Go on.
Marco's there.
All right.
Oh, we're back.
I don't know what I expected.
Speaking of birds, Mark opens the bag. Marco at the bottom of the bag. I don't know what's up.
A dead small blue phoenix.
What? No.
That's
That
the
dove, do not eat.
yeah,
Don't kill
Don't
him.
worry, he's a phoenix. He can come back to life.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
I'll
still
be back.
don't like it though. You're
You know
still
who
on
can't
thin
come back to
effing
life?
ice.
No, no.
Oh, no. Guess who's still dead?
Yes, it's still dead.
Tonoyasu.
I love Loki.
No.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest, that hurt more than Ace, and I know that that's probably like blasphemy, but like that scene hurt more than Ace dying.
Listen, I love Ace. I'll die
guy
on
from
that
One Piece?
hill. I will allow you to say that because I do feel like weirdly, a character we knew less had a more significant death.
Yes.
If that makes any sense.
I also feel the exact same about, like, I feel like in the great amount of, like, here's a big thing about this person dying, it was Tonoyasu, Whitebeard, then Ace.
All right, I don't know. All right, we'll talk
I
more
heard-
about that later.
Gonna put a pin in that one.
I'm
Alright.
getting one of my good noodle stars removed today.
Yeah. I'm peeling with my fingernail. I'm peeling the gold star off.
Got the nail polish remover.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I love how Whitebeard immediately goes back on his own morals. Where he's like, all right, I'm not doing this again, but if you hang out for 3 days, maybe I'll reconsider. And then they just save Toki, and he's like a little bit like, where did you want to go? Maybe we can drop you off somewhere. And Wano, and then he was like, we're not doing that. And but then it was also like, you're free to hang out here. Like, it was very like, for somebody who just put Odin through a trial by water, it's just like cool with Toki hanging out. It's like, yeah, whatever, man.
Well, the thing is that, like, at that point, like, he'd been like, well, of course you can come on, Odin. Like, you were almost there and you chose to save somebody instead. And that's very honorable. So we're inviting you on the ship. Bring her with you. She's pretty rad. And he's like, what the hell?
Wasn't it?
Odin
Wasn't
was
it a
like,
thing of like? Wasn't it a thing of the reason that they gave was like, oh, we cut the chain, so it's our fault that you failed, so we're gonna welcome you because it was something that we did.
No, he just
No.
jumped off. They knew,
All right.
they knew full
Yeah.
well that he was like,
they
"You
were
left."
straight up like, they looked away for 1 second and they looked back to keep cheering him on, and he was gone. And they're
And they're
like,
just
it's all
like,
your fault,
oh,
Pops.
He just gave up. He just gave up. He was an hour away. He almost
like,
had it. And then
Pops, you
Whitebeard's just like,
killed
yeah, but he
him.
went to go and save somebody. So, like, we're letting him on
Literally-
anyway. We were going to let him on, like,
literally-
after an hour, but then it just became, like, too awkward. So,
Literally, Pops' entire crew was like, this is your fault, Dad. And he was like, oh my God, I don't want to hear about it anymore. So when they find him on the island, he's like, join my crew. And he's like, but I didn't meet the requirement. And he's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. As he's like desperately not making eye contact with all of his kids who are mad at him. It's like it's the dad who gets the dog, and like the kids are like, I love the dog more than you, Dad. And something happens to the dog, and they immediately blame the dad, and Dad's like, I gotta get the dog back. I gotta get the dog back.
It also reminds me of how dads treat boys versus how dads treat girls.
Yes.
Kind of a thing.
100%. But I also feel like it was a moment where Odin and Whitebeard shook hands, and there was no verbal confirmation, but you could see it in their eyes that they respect women. So
Dad to dad communication, Chad to Chad communication,
yeah,
Chad to
Chad to
dad
chatty.
communication.
Chad to
Chad to dad, yeah, 100%. Chatty to daddy
got
communication.
there.
Chatty, a couple of chatty daddies over here.
They were like, I mean, but they're all about equality, so they probably would have put Toki through the trials by water, but because she was already dealing with such a stressful situation before they found her, like, she's done enough. She's badass enough to join the crew, and it's fine. Don't worry about it. One day we'll talk about my wild theory of important people from the past having neon colored hair, but we're not there just yet. But that's a pin in it. We'll come back to that. I love Toki. We move on. Toki is now part of the Whitebeard Pirates. Also, Odin is part of the Whitebeard Pirates. And in a true to Dad to Chad situation of being like, we'll get a dog, but don't expect me to like it. Immediately the next panel, they're having Hot Pot and they're all friends. And this is why I like Hot Pot, you guys. It just brings people together. Like, that's just how that happens. And it's just, man,
Hello?
it's just beautiful. So I think at this point we can now move on to the other daddy.
Well, at the very least, they go on a lot of adventures, and Odin is just like a curious puppy of like, oh, what's this island? Oh, what's that island? To the point where eventually, Ed makes him the Division 2 leader.
Which a quick little quiz show for everybody. Does anybody remember who the Division number 2 leader is? Commander is
Is this
in
going to
the
be a question on
future?
your quiz? Molly?
No, because I'm asking you now. Does
Is it
anybody
Marco?
It's not Marco.
No, it's not Marco.
I'll throw
Oh.
that one out there. He's number 1.
Marco's number 1.
If you had to guess who would number 2 be to replace Odin, who would you think it would be?
Marco's butt.
Number
good
2, I get it.
Good
I
answer.
feel like
Good answer.
you're not taking this seriously. All right, it's Ace, okay?
Yes, we know it's a.
But you wouldn't say it!
Well, it doesn't matter because guess who's still dead?
Guess who's still dead? Yeah.
That's our new game show. Guess who's still dead? Every answer is Ace and Tonoyasu.
For a show where people
Whitebeard.
never die, surprisingly, there's enough people who are actually dead.
Yeah.
For a
In
show
poker,
where
there's a thing called the dead man's hand, which involves a pair of 8s and
Ow.
Aces.
aces.
Son
Ace
of a
is dead.
gun. You son of a gun. So wait, am I allowed to talk about the other daddy now?
I mean,
Yeah.
Mark,
yeah,
I'm looking at
Molly,
you for
this
I mean,
is-
I just wanted to mention that it wasn't just a thing of like, you're a part of my crew now. Turns around, Roger's there.
You're a part of my crew now. Hi, Roger. Hey, can I have him? No.
Okay, but
yeah,
I want to play with your new
okay.
toy.
All right, I just in some people's fanfics, okay, that happens. But
Wow.
Yeah.
When you
Molly.
say some people, Molly.
Yeah, Molly's showing her hand right now. And by hand, I
what?
mean secret AO3 account.
3 accounts.
It's not so
What do you mean
secret.
secret?
Well, no,
We've
the one that
talked about it. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say we've talked about it like 10 times. So I don't know if it's secret.
well, no, like, Molly, you have your secret one, and then you have your other secret one that people don't know about. Well,
But
until
now they now
damn it.
know about. All right, third
I'm sorry,
secret
that's
account.
on me.
Damn it.
That's on me.
All right, the month is June. The day is the 23rd. The year 2021. I say, when do you think Caden will catch on that I think Ace's dad is hot? Mark replied and shattered my world for the rest of my life. I mean, he's Ace, but daddy. And I have yet to forget that. And it's stuck with me. And the other thing is
This
that,
is the thing. This is the thing.
yes.
Oh
this
my
is the
God.
thing.
This is
Because
the stupidest thing.
listen to me. Listen to me.
So
I'm shaking Caden. I'm shaking Caden. I'm shaking Caden. I'm shaking Caden. Listen
Shake,
to
shake,
me.
shake. Bite, bite,
Listen
bite.
to me. You don't understand. Oda has been drawing Rogers not hot for 20 years. Okay? 20 years of that guy. We don't even see his eyes.
The
Okay?
secret
For
to hotness is
20
to not
years.
have eyeshadow.
For 20 years. You don't understand. When Oda originally created Rogers, his freaking mustache wasn't a mustache. It was nose hair, okay? This is what we've been dealing with. I'm still shaking Caden. This is what we were dealing with for 20 years, okay? And then cut to this flashback, and we finally see Daddy in his prime. We see Ace but Daddy,
Dadimus
okay?
Prime.
He's
It's a really
slut
big
affectionate.
deal. He is so slutty. And this is the same guy we saw. And the like, you want my treasure? Go and find it. And that guy is just like harried. He's dying of cancer. He's just like, he's having a bad time. And we're seeing him in his hot prime daddy. Like, this guy's so daddy. He's wearing pink. He's confident enough to wear pink. That's how daddy this guy is, okay? He's
got the big
wearing
pink
frills. He's wearing frills, not because the Amazon Lily ladies made him a shirt that had frills. He's choosing to actively wear frills. This guy. All right, we're talking about the Giga Daddies today. The Giga Daddies. All right, I've stopped shaking Caden. Thank you for your patience.
I imagine those last things where you were like smacking the back of your hands. You were open palm slapping Caden just to
I
be
would
like,
never-
do you
talking.
understand? But you were
Never
shaking her.
slap. No, well, yeah, but only mentally. I was punching my fist into my hand, and it kind of hurts now. Am I strong or am I weak? I don't know.
Molly was
This is
You just hear Kaden from like 2 blocks away wheezing. I can't even hear what she's saying. I just hear like it sounds like a balloon like letting out air.
I love that Molly's like audio level for her headphones is so freaking out of balance with everything else. Mark and Al can hear me perfectly fine when I'm doing those little bits. Molly's just like, guess I'll hear it when the podcast comes
To be fair, Mark and Al are perfect for me, and I have a large fan going on behind me because I can't have my doors and windows open today.
wow.
while
Brag
we're
about having a
recording
big fan.
Yeah,
this. I know, dude. I keep looking at it and going, "Why are you so obsessed with me?"
God damn it. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm starting to get sweaty.
So starting
Again,
to? This whole episode has been you talking about.
well, I took a
like-
shower beforehand, and then now I'm
Okay.
getting really sweaty. I'm on my 3rd beverage, dude. I'm thirsty. But no, I need to reiterate for the listeners at home. I have waited 2 years to say this thing that Mark said, that he summed up my entire life in like a sentence. And I'm just like, he right though. Mark, let the record show you were right.
He read your book.
He's ace but daddy, and it's just like it's for somebody who's been reading One Piece since 2013 when I was a 13-year-old. I found myself having a secondary dilemma. The first dilemma was the first secondary
2013 when you
dilemma.
were 13.
I was
Molly,
13.
Molly, I don't think you're right.
Of what? Reading One Piece?
No, I don't. Molly, I think your ages are off.
What do you mean?
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
2003 or 2013? Did I say?
You said 13, Molly.
I meant 2000. You're right. Yeah, 2013.
Molly,
You would be 10
I'm
years older.
little.
Molly,
I'm
10
little.
years ago.
Molly's
little.
baby.
Molly, the 90s weren't a decade ago.
Please don't do this to me. Please not right now. It's the Paul Rudd at the desk. I'm fine. It's fine. All right, real long segue here, but the original dilemma was that I really liked Trunks from Dragon Ball Z when I was a teenager.
Yes.
And as I got older, I stopped looking at Trunks and started looking at Vegeta, and was just like, damn. And
Gasp.
then again, same era, teenager looking at Ace and being like, damn. And then
Into Short Kings of the
Get-
Pirates.
Yeah.
I was like definitely, I think in my 30s when this chapter came out where we see Daddy Rogers, and just being like, is this a thing with me? And being like, all right, 2's a coincidence, but the 3rd time, shame on me.
Gasp.
3's a pattern.
Molly saw Into the Matrix.
3 is a type, and I'm a little worried. I don't know when the 3rd one's gonna happen, but I know it will happen. I freaking love, I've said it like 5 times, I freaking love this flashback. I love
Hey,
seeing,
Molly,
yeah.
do you love this flashback?
You like this
All right.
flashback?
What do you
6th
think about
time,
this flashback,
I hate
Molly?
it. I turn the corner, I hate it now, actually, I
Now
don't.
that people are perceiving me, hate it.
Yeah, all right, now that we've duped them for like,
Now
what, an
that I'm
hour
being
into this
bullied about
episode,
it?
I hate it. The truth come out.
The truth come out. Molly hate Whitebeard.
I love seeing the young Roger pirates, little Shakes and little Buggy. The very first scene
Little
we see
bros.
them all. Shanks is squatting over, I presume, a dead Marine, with 2 hats, and is eating a giant bar of chocolate.
Can I ask a question?
They have onion pirate energy.
Can I ask a question? Something like kind of like knocked my brain loose a little bit. Did Oda change the age at which Buggy ate the devil fruit?
No. But he just, for
because-
whatever reason, started drawing them looking younger for some reason. He drew them like more like late teens than we see them originally earlier on.
And they
like
look
for
like
whatever
they're
reason
8.
they do, but they're not. He's very like I did look into that because I was like, why are they so baby? And he's like, well, kids kind of look that baby at that age. And it's like, oh, you messed up the first time.
The
Got
first time you screwed up because they looked like they were 14 to like 17.
Yes.
They
the
were too
first one.
lanky.
And now they're
Yeah.
just like, now they're like 10 or 12. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the
wrong.
idea.
Okay.
I like the idea that the original time we see them as children technically is either from Shanks or Buggy's perspective, and I like the idea that they seem older to them in that age period. But this is Odin's flashback, and they're
Yeah.
actually baby.
It's like,
Well, it could also
we're
be that
adults and we're
it's-
being pirates right now. And then it's just like, and Odin's just like, and then this one who's like the size of a raisin.
What is he
came up.
called? He
His
calls
name
him
is
Buggy Judo, which means like
Judo.
what, second son? And then he
Yes.
calls
Buggy
Shanks
Jiro.
and then it's red hair or Shanks. What's the word for first son?
Better son.
Better son.
Red hair, better son.
I forget, but I just think it's funny that somehow Buggy understands Japanese and he understands that he's being insulted. He's like, why am I the second son? I love them. I also love just like super.
I like how that's your transitional phrase. It's very positive.
Ow. Oh, that hurt, Molly. Stop that.
They can't not win is what I'm saying here. And mostly because they like meet on an island. And much like the first time we meet Odin, first time Whitebeard meets Odin, and he's like, who's this freak who like openly attacks him like a surprise attack or whatever, and then like asking politely.
Be
if he
my
can join his
friend.
crew.
Slice, 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 slice.
Now we see Whitebeard with his old pal like react the exact same way to each other, and it's like, oh, so it is cool. You were just being mean to him. Or is it like you can only do it if you're bros? Is that like you can't just be like, oh, why are you so obsessed with me? I don't even know you. But it's like for people that he knows, it's like totally okay. Yeah, and they just fight for 3 days because that's just what pirates do. That's how you know they're. That's how you know that they're like friends.
There was a very interesting while they were all facing off before the fight actually started, of Buggy and Shanks seeing Teach, who they picked up along their adventures. That's the end of the fight, where they were like, I hear he's never slept ever.
Buggy goes, hey Shanks, yeah? See that freak of the week over there? Yeah? That guy didn't sleep the entire 3 days. And Shanks being like, hey, I hate to tell you this, man. I think that's kind of normal. Like, people can just do that. No. He didn't sleep for 3 days. And he like looks around and he goes, but I hear he's never slept a day in his life. Oh. And then Shanks is like, okay, that's kind of messed up.
Oh. What?
And then we cut across
like,
the
hey,
field.
You think this guy's gonna kill somebody in the future? Maybe he might do that.
I do love that it's Buggy who picks up on the vibe. Shanks was very like, all right, man, like give him a chance or whatever. And Buggy's like, I'm going to be listening to a murder podcast about this guy in 20 years.
There's going to be, you're not going to even believe it. It's going to be the worst thing anyone has ever done. And this guy's going to be right there. Shanks absolutely, after everything happened there, called up Buggy. It's like, listen, I know we haven't talked in a long time, but man, you were right about that guy. What a freak.
Yeah, in the podcast, Buggy will be one of the interviewees. It's just somehow I always knew.
Buggy, yeah, but it's gonna be like Buggy's like face and voice all messed up, so we can't tell it's him.
Silhouette. This is like,
but you can clearly see a clown nose.
Yeah.
To protect his identity, we've altered the voice and put up a little thing so that you couldn't tell. It's like
floating hand silhouettes.
Completely Buggy's silhouette, Buggy's nose.
I imagine, God, I'm like originally was thinking about him in the Ariana Grande outfit, like with the ponytail, but now I'm thinking of like the cameras at the ground, an upshot looking up at Baggy, and it's like they'll never know it's me.
This mysterious stranger.
And then we cut across the field, and Blackbeard goes, "Who the heck are those kids?" And I don't know if it was Marco or somebody else saying like, "Oh, those guys, they've always been a part of that crew. They're just, they're just part of the crew, whatever." And Blackbeard is like, then why do they look so smug? Like Blackbeard had beef like immediately with these kids for just like looking confident, like immediate beef for no real reason.
For having happy childhoods.
We know why.
We still don't know. We still don't know why Shanks and Blackbeard fought originally. I'm gonna put money on the table and say a little bit of it is that Blackbeard was jealous that Shanks grew up hot. I'm not gonna put.
I thought you were gonna say had a friend.
That too, but I feel like he's so not looking at Buggy at all that he's just focused on Shanks. That I feel like no matter what Oda actually tells us what happens, I feel like the underline of it is that he's also jealous Shanks is hot.
It's like everybody loves Raymond, but instead of Raymond, it's
Yes.
Shanks. And
Yes.
Buggy and Teach are just supposed to like, freaking hate this guy. But Buggy's just like, I hate this guy, but he's still good, and I'm gonna hang out with him. And Teach is just like, I will kill every single person here eventually. It's like two very different kinds of everybody hates this person.
Personal outlooks.
Yeah, it has the energy of like someone looking at Shanks and being like, "Get a load of this nepo baby. I hate this nepo baby so much. I hate him." And it's like, bro, if you stop focusing on the grass is always greener situation, you will realize that you too could be a nepo baby if you choose to. Your father also has clout that you could use to, and instead has this long plans at long games of being like, I'll just stay under the radar and use Pops' name for so long until I'm ready to execute my plan. But like, bro, that could have been you if you weren't so freaking nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, Oda has a history of showing people hot because they follow their dreams, or not, people who don't follow their dreams, and like gets into like a little nasty little spiral of like, yeah, everybody else's fault but mine. And it's like, bro, if you applied yourself, you could have been a daddy too, but you're not. You're nasty, and I don't like you.
I guess to some extent, though, Teach's entire philosophy is following his dream. It's just that his dream sucks.
Yeah,
like his dream comes at the cost of everybody else.
That
Al, you got me on that one. I 100% agree with that. 100%.
I will trample over as many people to get what I want, to achieve my dream.
He's got that billionaire vibe going.
He's looking at people like Whitebeard and Rogers and being like, I'm gonna do exactly what these guys did to get what I want. And it's like, hey, you like totally like misconstrued the history lesson on these guys entirely. Like you're trying to justify being this jerk because of your role models or whatever, but when you look at the fine print of what your role models actually did, they didn't do any of that. Like, they had their dream without trampling people. In fact, like, what we know about Rogers is that he viciously destroyed entire crews if you messed with his crew first.
And that sort of goes to the end of this battle, which was they fight for 3 days, and by the end of it, they're all like, oh, that shirt looks awesome. You want to trade for this? Oh, yeah. And they're just trading all of their stuff, and it's just like it's
meet.
It's a swap meet. It's a pirate exchange. It's an ice cream social. And everybody's vibing and just having a great time, probably except for Teach, because he's like that.
Yeah, it's less of like, we're going to fight you because I hate you, and more of like, this is the judo classroom and we're going to fight for improving and like seeing where you've like how you've improved in the last X amount of years. And I want to say, we have no confirmation on this. This is me just throwing it out there like it's a fact. I feel like Roger and Whitebeard have not met since God Valley. And
probably.
The fact that they're on good terms, I wonder what the context of that is to the alluding to the events of God Valley. Because like Roger was on the other side of Whitebeard's crew at that time and fought alongside Garp. And I wonder at some point of the battle if Whitebeard's just like, man, it's not worth it. Actually, I don't approve of anything that you're trying to do, and I'm out, man, I'm out of here. And that gives them like a like we can be friends then. You're not a complete asshole. We can be friends with this guy or whatever. So I feel
it's the thing that Luffy does where he's like,
exactly.
Oh, you want to help? Cool, let's go. Like, great, you're a part of the team now. And people go, I was just stabbing you in the face. Well,
yeah, but now we're friends.
Yeah, but we're friends now, so you're not gonna.
I feel like at one point,
I don't think you know what friends means.
like I feel like at one point Garp did discuss at some point that like he acknowledged that Ace was part of Whitebeard's crew and didn't have like these turds, like he's hanging out with those turds. I wouldn't say he approved of it, but I would say that he didn't disapprove of Ace being on Whitebeard's ship. And I feel like that also is context in God Valley. And Oda, if you're listening, which I know you're not, please listen to our podcast. I'm begging you. Can we get to God Valley already? Because I really want to know.
Please.
Molly, I just got to Wano.
I know, but
Molly, I just got
want-
here. Don't tell me about there's another place.
I want context, please.
But it doesn't exist anymore. So how can we go there?
Unless.
It's in space now.
Flashback. No. Flashback.
Oh, that makes more sense.
You misread that cue entirely.
Yeah.
So
I do that.
End of day 3 of fighting. We're having a council of the daddies.
Can I pause you for just a second, Molly?
Why?
Because I want to give some context between last episode and this episode.
Uh-oh.
I like how in last episode we were just like, yeah, here's some cool stuff, here's some set pieces, here's the important stuff that we really thought about and it was important. Molly has point for point daddy moments. I want to remind people, this is 3 episodes. This is 3 episodes out of what is essentially like 25 chapters that we're going to be talking about. This is 3 episodes. And I mean, love
it's
Molly's
essentially a
dedication.
big like a lot happens, but a lot doesn't happen, like there are a lot of times where they accelerate in time and slow down, and this is, hey, Caden, Al, Molly, go over there real quick. Like, y'all, this is really important to her, and like she's been waiting for this for a really long time. So let's, part of the reason why I wanted to get through last episode was fast as, for GOOFFQUEEN,
I have no idea what you just spelled.
Good, that's the point. Hey Molly, what were we talking about?
Oh, we can come back over?
Council of Daddies?
It's not fair how when you said Molly, go over there, and I go, I know exactly what he's gonna say. And you said exactly what I knew you were gonna say. I do need this. Just let me get through this. And then...
I do. You know what? That was a funny joke, right. But also I do need this.
But also, I'm not proud to beg.
This is where Molly does the usual Molly laugh at the.
Anyway, back to what I was saying about the Council of Daddies.
Yeah. Anyway, did I say that I love this flashback?
Once or twice.
Maybe.
I'm just
In
listen.
passing.
It's so important to me that we're here in this moment because now I am giving myself permission to finally buy those young Whitebeard and young Roger figures that I've been scared to have in my home because Caden comes over for dinner. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to remember to put these away before she comes over. And it's so important for me, for her not to be spoiled that they're both super hot. And we're here now. Yeah. It's so cool. It's like, this guy, this Giga-Chad, that like we had no idea who this guy was until we got here. And finding out that this guy was there for so many important moments in history. Here's the thing about this Giga-Chad, all right? He's not even just a Giga-Chad. Not only does he respect women, and he's like a really cool guy, and he's really strong, and he's also like a nepo baby, but he does like the right thing about being a nepo baby, where he's not like, buying Twitter or whatever, but like,
well, he was fully ready to give up everything just to go on an adventure.
Yeah, but it's like when you thought this guy couldn't get any better, you find out that he's just soft enough to keep a journal. And like I feel like true Giga-Chad,
he's scrapbooking his journey.
I just feel like true Giga-Chads like are also like on the verge of being like there there's a little bit of masculinity in that of just like I'm not gonna do this and that. This guy is a true Giga-Chad. He is out here writing the maybe not the most accurate, but he's still taking a moment to write a piece of history that's very important for the rest of us. This is the guy. If I know nobody else has got me, this guy has got me, okay? Otherwise, we never would have known any of this happened, okay? We never would have known if it wasn't for all this journal. But
give thanks to Odin for this feast of daddies.
before we had our segue, as I said before, we get to the Council of Daddies.
Thank you for letting me have this feast of Edward NewCaked.
And we find out
Molly is appreciative of the feast. So
Does that sound Molly wiping drool for his
Oh my
The fact that there
God.
was like a solid 3 seconds of dead silence, and then
it's because she was thinking about it.
no, I mentally said amen and then was like, anyway, back to what I
And
was
now we
doing.
tuck into the meal. What
I
happens
physically-
here?
I physically felt all of us stop holding hands, and I knew the prayer was done. Okay.
Molly's in the front of the line for food at Thanksgiving. Just like plate in
Yeah.
hand, waiting for the prayer to be over. The thing that happens here is in a similar way to how we've seen Luffy, like in the flashbacks. Roger expresses that he wants to be king of the pirates, and Ed kind of laughs at him, and immediately Odin is even more so falls in love with this fellow Chad, and is just like, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. And when Roger finds out that Odin can read the poneglyphs and write the same language, he's like, hey, I want to borrow him for a year. And
Can I?
Whitebeard, very appropriately, is like, you're going to take a member of my family? And Odin was like,
Can
no, Dad, let me go. Molly? Molly?
Ooh, I hate to do it. Can I correct you on something?
Oh, yes, please do, actually.
So you just said, much like Luffy, Roger proclaims he wants to be the king of the pirates.
Yeah.
He didn't. We don't actually know what Roger's dream is. Roger says, that's right, and I'll be, and we have 2 panels of kind of like, "Caw-caw," like a bird flying away. We don't know what he says.
That's
But
fair.
we assume, right? We're assuming here, and you know what assuming makes us an ass out of you and
Makes
me, man.
you out of ass and me.
I
Yeah.
think that he said he was going to be the ultimate daddy.
Which,
I'm
I
I'm
mean,
gonna take a bite of that Edward NewCake.
yeah, I think the big thing
Ed
is that
laughed.
he said it in front of Whitebeard, who we all know is the ultimate daddy, and that was pretty big of him. I feel like it's very important, you guys. We don't know what he says, and we still don't know what he says. And that's really
He does
huge.
say in that scene,
Are you talking about anime or are you talking about manga?
I mean, I thought he said it, and then there's also that moment where he says something that we don't hear.
And then-
I don't think he ever says that he wants to be king of the pirates. That is something that got put on him.
I think
Like-
Whitebeard responds like that's a silly dream and that's all we get, or that's a
He
funny
says,
dream or
that's
something.
right, and I'll be, and we don't hear it, and they say, what? And he says, la 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 la. What a load of crap, Roger. Are you a kid by any chance? And then we see, much like when Mark said,
Molly's
he's
got her
Ace Bud
poster of this
Daddy.
scene.
Yeah, I have it actually up on Google, but like much like when Mark shattered my world saying he's Ace Bud Daddy, Odin says, I was so stunned that I couldn't move. He'd already left me speechless twice. Who is this guy?
Yeah, that's when he fell in love.
Oh my god.
And was like,
someone's gotta tell his wife.
they're fine with it.
Yeah. It's very
Toki and Owen are like, we noticed your vibe from across the ship.
entirely. But like, I think it's incredibly important to reiterate: we don't know what Oda's we know what Oda's dream is. We don't know what Roger's dream is.
Please let me die
Yeah. No.
after finishing this story.
Maybe we'll see. Sorry, that makes it seem like I have him trapped in my basement or something, and I don't like.
Well, then he
that.
definitely listens to the show, at least from one perspective.
Yeah.
From the base, yeah,
From the basement.
yeah, from the vent gate or whatever.
And my This was
So then now you can
This
go
was
off.
supposed to be so quick.
No, what? What are you talking about?
Just
No,
of
it wasn't.
transitioning from Odin's time with the Whitebeard pirates to Odin's time with the Roger pirates, where they go on a similar tour to what we've experienced with Luffy and his crew of the various poneglyphs, and seeing Odin write the message in Shandora. It's like,
We're jumping. Okay.
well, that's because like we jump, you know.
I guess, but also
they hit Bink Sake and they just go.
Yeah, but also like I just think it's really funny that Rogers is like, I'm begging you, let Giga-Chad be part of my crew. And everyone being like, whoa, Captain, you can't be begging, like, you gotta hold your head up or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he
Whitebeard being like, what the heck? That's my bro. And like getting,
he's
like,
my whole
very
world.
Yeah, for somebody who was like, I don't want a dog, being like, that's my best friend. Like, and I mean, eventually, Whitebeard does agree, especially after Odin asks, like, says, like, dude, I don't know what this guy's deal is. I gotta go see. It's like Rogers being like, dude, I'm gonna go do a kickflip off this Taco Bell, and it's gonna be amazing. And Odin being like, bro, you gotta let me go see this guy do a kickflip off this Taco Bell. This guy is crazy.
Odin is the only guy we know that's got a camcorder, so he's gotta be there.
Yeah, he's the only one writing down these sick hit moments, these sicko mode moments. Eventually, Whitebeard does agree, and I think it's really cute because they did the swap meet. But what they ended up doing was the Rogers crew ended up giving all of their treasure and all of their goodies away as compensation for Odin coming.
Thanks for Odin. Here's money.
Yeah, and like rightfully so, Odin Whitebeard was very upset about it because obviously, when you're hashtag part of it's about the family dom. Like money is not an equivalent for a human. And then so we move now. Sadly,
well, I think it was also like the thing of like you going out with family and you go to pay the bill, and by the time it's here, the card's already gone and somebody else has already paid for it. Just of
By the time it's paid for, your little brother's gone in someone else's minivan.
Yeah. And you don't know whose minivan it was, but
that's not good.
Tell me about the sad part, Molly. What's sad?
It's gonna be a while before we see hot young Whitebeard, but
until you get the statue where you'll see him, you'll wake up every morning.
Every morning. I don't know if you could hear it. I flicked my hair when I said that. Something to humble brag about in the future, but I think it's important to say before we go on like a smash cut of the Roger Pirates' greatest hits with Odin, that Izo decides to stay on Whitebeard's crew. Pretty big deal. Somebody who was obsessed with Odin being like, you know what, you're all right, I'm obsessed with somebody else now, and him being like, swag ever. And then Odin, Toki, and his two adorable children, Momonosuke and Hiyori, now are on Roger's ship. Did I say it wrong again?
You keep changing pronunciation of stuff.
Dang, I don't know, man.
And that's okay.
It's not my fault. I read, okay? I don't have anybody to pronounce it for me but me.
All that means is you read it. And
I did.
That's nothing to be ashamed of.
I can spell it.
But we will correct sometimes.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. You're right.
We're in the group text.
So then they switch hands, and so Izo stays, and then oh man, now I'm feeling self-conscious.
Nekomamushi
And the dog.
Inuarashi.
Yeah. And I think that was it, right? Those are the three retainers that came. Right? Is that right? I'm asking. I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so then, so Izo decides to stay. The two of them also decide to stay. And it's like, okay, swag ever. And then we cut to being on Roger's ship. And just kidding, they weren't actually okay with it. They joined the crew as well. Thank God for them.
Pure children.
I feel like Oda realized there wouldn't be any mascots if he let them stay with Whitebeard, and so he was like, actually, they go too.
Babies aren't good enough. We need a dog person and a cat person.
Yeah. Which I think is another really interesting thing that Rayleigh and Roger are holding Odin's children and saying, "This reminds me of old times."
It's been a long time since I've held a baby.
I'm looking at all of you directly into your souls. What the heck does that mean?
What does
What's
it
up
mean?
with? Listen, I'm so sweaty right now. I know I've been calling them daddy for an hour and something minutes, but like that was theoretical. What do you mean? What do you mean it's been a while since you've held a baby? Whose baby were you holding?
Because
what baby?
It was after that when Roger was like, I don't know, I might have a kid.
And they're like, yeah, it'll be my son. And they're like, you
Yeah.
don't have a son. And he said, bet. And
No,
he
it's
said,
like-
"Bet?"
He said,
Not yet.
I can make it happen.
He did I can't say it, even though it's accurate to saying it. He did the F boy face where he was like, yet. And he was like biting his lip. And he was like,
That is
Was he though?
I hate that.
was.
I hate
I'm
it.
not sure.
it's real. And I'll show you.
It's real. The One
The
Piece
F-boy
is
face
real.
is real.
There you go. All right. I love that they connected from episode 1 of Shanks being like, "Oh, this is the song we used to sing," or not necessarily from episode 1, but Luffy connecting with Shanks that Shanks used to sing this song on Roger's ship of Pink Sake, and this generational thing of like, oh, this is this song. I also think that the fact that Oda keeps bringing up Pink Sake is very important, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to put a pin in that one too and come back to it. Anyway,
I'm hiding a theory board. Mark's hiding a theory board. Al, you hiding a theory board over there?
I've
How
got
come
like a basket of yarn with some
How come
Post-its
everybody
in
gets
it.
to hide
Hell yeah.
theirs? I've been having mine out all over the place.
Well,
because
part of
we
it
know
is
the whole
that-
story.
How much
Well,
have you
no,
guys
we don't.
stolen for your board?
No, we don't.
We only,
Not the
we
whole
only
story,
know
but you know what
what
I
we've
mean.
been given. I guess.
Exactly.
Once you get to spoiler chat, Caden, then we can show you because we literally don't have any confirmation for a lot of this stuff. But I could spin I could spin a yarn about what it could mean.
A
No,
red
that's
yarn.
Owls.
Oh, sorry.
Al, can I borrow some yarn?
Yes.
Yeah, hey man. Times are hard. Times are hard here.
Times are hard. We have the communal Yayo Talk Show yarn.
I made a
Give me-
sweater.
Oh. But this is
Conspiracy sweater.
So, what do we learn? What do we learn on
again.
Odin's
Is this a
travels
question
with-
or?
This is theoretical. I'm going to tell you what we learned.
Theoretically, a
Are you
question.
are you asking something or are you telling us?
Do you want an answer? Or do you want us to listen?
I'm trying to pique your curiosity, even though Caden just read this, so I know that she's going to ace this. But we see them go
Who's still
to Sky Island. We see them.
Skypea.
Yes to both.
Skypea, a Sky Island.
Yeah.
Sky. We went to
Skypea
go to
colon.
Sky Island. Skypea. Oh
Yeah. Nobody could see the dumbfounded look I had on my face because Caden's totally right.
The look of total fear.
Yeah,
the
Discord.
look
I've been saying
of,
the
like-
joke since forever, Molly. I'm not gonna forget my own thing.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm backtracking. Now I'm self-conscious.
Hayden's gonna get it right. Caden immediately corrects Sky Island. Molly.
We see we
Oh God, I don't know anything.
we follow Roger with Odin going along the road or looking for the road poneglyphs to find the true final island on the Grand Line. And
some of the smash cuts of places that we know of, which I think is really interesting. So Skypea, obviously, that is known. We have confirmation on that. They found the writing of a little shout out to Joy Boy when Luffy's crew was there.
There's so
And
much the nuggets of Joy Boy here.
They went
so
through
much
the
I wanna talk
drive-through. They went through the Joy Boy drive-through. Got some Jiggy
The
Nuggies.
Joy Boy drive-through. Get some Joy
Think of-
Burgies.
They got a couple beefy boy combos.
But some of the other places that we recognize,
smug fries.
we see them sail underneath, which I think is called Tequila Wolf. It's that bridge.
Yep, Tequila Wolf, the island, the bridge continent.
Right, where Robin got yeeted to back before the time skip. That is crazy to me. The implications of that whole thing freaks me out, and I don't know the full story on that. And that weirds me out.
We're still in the dark.
I do believe that they go to an island that we have not been to, but I know of on the route that they took. That's just all lightning, like oops, all lightning.
That was coming out of.
Was that Whitebeard's crew?
No, that was like Nami had a pose that could have pointed to that island, and
Right.
Luffy went, that looks like fun, and they said absolutely not. And Beige's crew, we saw them landing on that island.
Right. But yeah, I think that was where they were originally headed, and then they ended up hitting Punk Hazard by accident.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. But that is a known, I don't know what, I wouldn't want to go there, the oops all lightning land. That looks like a bad time. But
I mean, it'd be fine for
we've
Luffy.
We've seen it at, yeah, you know what? True, you got me on that
Yeah,
one.
yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.
The two people in this world, Enel
rubber man.
and Luffy, are the only people who can enjoy that island.
Yo, shout out to Enel.
He yum-yummed the gum-gum.
Oh, no.
Man, I quit. That's it for me.
Anyway,
Had a good run.
peace
It
out.
looked like we saw the island that Usopp landed on in the time skip, but
Yeah.
that's kind of unconfirmed. It's just because large flora and fauna. We saw them at Fishman Island, meeting Neptune, meeting Charlie. Seeing
I
the
think they already knew Neptune. They were like, Neptune, is that you? And he was like, oh, you guys.
Yeah,
are
he's like,
young."
I'm the king now. It's like,
Roger
yeah,
does.
That's
Yes,
pretty funny.
and that's cute. I like
yeah.
that.
Hey, it
Oh,
turns out
speaking of
your daughter's gonna turn into a giant weapon. It's like, well, it's only a weapon if you use it like a weapon. It's like, that's true. Why are
It's not
you
e-
interested in using it? It's like, I'm not. I'm actually here to just be like, hey, you got some of them poneglyphs thing?
No, Caden, you don't understand. He wasn't married and didn't have a child yet. And they're like, yo, your daughter's going to be crazy. And he's like
Yeah.
blushing like, a daughter? Does that imply I'm having
the
sex?
The thing is like he knew because they had talked about it a bunch already, and it's just like. It's like I'm ashamed of you. It's like there was the first like and it's like I'm ashamed of you, Roger. You want a
There's
weapon? It's like no, I'm actually gonna be dead before that. Anyway, you got any in them Joy Boy like scribbles? Because I'll take some of them.
Scribbles. I'm a big fan. Hashtag big fan. I
we
love
get too far
the
away
only one
from
who
it.
can read it.
I know, but it's just I like how you.
Also,
phrase
did we
that.
mention that? Did we mention that Odin is the only one able to read this stuff? And when
I
they're
did like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, cool. And like he chiseled a thing in there.
Yeah.
For Rogers, it's like, hey, what up? Been here,
Yeah.
done that.
It could have said
Roger,
anything.
ya boy.
I like,
Like
the
Roger could have, or Odin could have just put whatever he wanted and been like, yeah, it totally says that.
It's the energy of like somebody going to get tattoo of like a kanji or like, you know, like a Japanese symbol and being like, it means courage. And then somebody who actually reads it knows it says like sandwich or something.
Speaking of sandwich, Al, you said before we got too far away from it.
It's a dumb joke, but Virgin Chad, Goldie Roger, because he hasn't had a kid yet.
Oh my God. Worth the wait, my man. Ridiculous. I'm going to be thinking about that for a little while. Speaking of Virgin Chad, I think it needs to be said that in the same panel of when they're like, yo, your daughter's going to be crazy. And Neptune being like, what the heck? I'm not even married. And then somebody on the like guard squad is like, I don't know, sir. Like she made a theory about that Otahime character being right, like doing a protest last week, and she was right. And it's like they just like subtly name drop his future wife in the panel about talking about his future family, which I thought was pretty cute. And then on the like way out, just catching some casual overhearing gossip from the Sea Kings, which is not common. Okay, great. We'll just skip past it then.
I never know how complete of a thought you're gonna have. Like, I would totally swoop in if I had any sort of an idea.
You guys normally don't wait for permission to swoop in, and so when it's dead silence, I feel like I'm looking up.
Explicitly told that this is another one of those episodes
Yeah.
for Molly to do what Molly wants,
When
however
it's-
Molly wants, so long as Molly doesn't swear. And we're just like, yes, Molly. That's correct, Molly. You got it, Captain. And then it just gets really quiet, and it's just like, guys.
When it gets quiet, it has it feels like I'm looking over my shoulder as I'm writing on the board, and everybody's looking down at their phones. And I'm like, I said a pretty big thing, you guys. Can I get a reaction?
So I'm also trying to get through these 3 episodes.
I know.
Because we haven't even talked about anything we haven't even talked about.
This is
I'll
now
wrap it.
it's as long.
I'll wrap
it's
it
as
up.
long as the last episode of the podcast.
Not quite, but we're
We've
almost
talked
there.
About 3 episodes.
All right.
So-
I'm shaking it up. We're gonna just finish this. It's gonna be great. We're gonna do this really quick. I
Dismount,
also have
Molly,
to go
dismount.
soon. Okay.
I know,
so-
which is why I'm trying to help.
Okay, great. I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, so we hear the fish. They say something that's a pretty big deal, and then we meet Tom. We love Tom. He made the ship, and then we see Frankie, and that's pretty cool. And I think it's also really important that when Odin was like, "Hey man, it would just be part of this like legendary crew," and he was like, "Whatever. I've just got abandoned by pirates. Like my parents are pirates. I don't want to be a pirate." And it's like, that's something I didn't know before. That's probably important. And then we're going to skip again. And then Rogers is just like, man, they're talking about, like, you know, a future guy. And I think that's my son. And they're like, what son? And he's like, my future son. Hashtag humbled, you know.
Wink.
Wink. My future son's going to be pretty great.
Yes, we still did.
I don't want to give it all away, but, like, going to be pretty swag ever, you know. What am I missing? They do it. Oh, they do it. They're going to.
They do it. This is born.
They get
9 months later.
They get the map, and they're like, we're doing it. It's gonna be amazing. And then Buggy gets sick, and Shanks is so nice that he's like, you know what? It is actually swag ever. If we want to find the One Piece, we'll go on our own crew. And it's gonna be fun. And Buggy doesn't get carried to the finish line for the first time in his life. They leave the kids behind. Oh shoot,
Molly, that was very funny.
thank you. I appreciate that. I also forgot to
Toki
say,
also gets sick,
Yes.
and so they have to take her back to Wano, and she's like,
Yes.
no, Odin, keep going.
Noted.
Noted.
All right.
Noted.
please, Al, we're short on time. I think it's really
Joke is too
important.
funny. I'm not going back to jail.
I'm not going back.
If we don't hurry up, the horny police are gonna come and arrest Molly.
They
so-
will.
Truly.
It's imminent. I think it's really important that Toki and Momo and Hiyori go to Wano.
I'd just
and
like to
then
point out
also-
that Molly used eminent and horny police in the same sentence.
My God.
Moving
Imminent
on.
horny
Your
police are here.
Eminence.
It's not a possibility. It's an inevitability. I need you to understand this. And I like that Neko and Inu are like, we'll go with them so that we can explain, like, this is your hot wife. Like, nobody has any reference for who Toki is or your kids. We're gonna go and validate that you got married to this hottie, and people believe that. So then they go, and then also they like roll up, and like Odin is like, I can't look. If I look, I know I'll stay, and I gotta see this through. It's such a big thing, and they're all like, boo, because he wouldn't turn around to look at the island before they left, which is a pretty big deal. But I also think it's kind of really funny within the full context of the scene. Imagine the people obsessed with you booing you because you won't acknowledge them.
Throw your jersey, you big jerk.
Oh my God. Okay, so everybody's Buggy's in sicko mode, Toki's in sicko mode. We move on from the sicko mode. They go and they do it. They get to the final island. Like, wow, they did. That's so crazy. They roll up. We don't even get to see the island. All we know is that they took a look at it and they laughed. they laughed so hard that Rogers names the island Laugh Tail, or as we were all calling it for forever, because for some reason that's relevant enough for the Marines to be like, they know too much, and we called it Raft Tail, which is, pretty huge. And I really like the panel of Rogers laughing because it's very silly, and he's dying, but I'm happy that he's still, has time to laugh. I don't think we mentioned that Rogers is dying. He didn't. Okay,
Molly,
listen to
I'm
me.
pretty sure they know at this point.
Okay, but listen to me.
Who's that? Who's that again?
He didn't get captured by the Marines, okay? He decided that was his time and was like, I don't know, also, I guess I'll let these guys finally catch me. Like, I don't know. But really, it was a review, so he could talk to Garp, and we all know this. Anyway, Rogers is dying. They
And
do
we
it.
all know this.
They did it.
Every one of you.
They did it, and was like, that's a big deal. No one's ever done this before. All right, I'm logging out for the night. They turn around, they get Buggy, and they get Shanks, and Rogers is like, well, we've done it. We're disbanding. And they disband, and it's funny because Odin is like, in like true Giga-Chads, none of us shed a tear. And then we see, haha, as a fun visual, everybody's crying. And I also think it's really important to state that when they got back from Laugh Tale, Shanks asks Roger a question that we don't know what he asked, but what we do know is that he burst into tears afterwards. And that's probably also a big deal as I kick another board of yarn underneath my desk. I don't know, but it seems like a pretty big deal. They disband. Rogers leaves first. I think actually before he leaves, he says something to Rayleigh, and Rayleigh turns away. And that's probably also a big deal. It kicks another board on my desk. Rogers leaves first. He's the only one not crying. Everybody else is crying. Rogers is on his way to bag a hottie. After that, they drop off Odin. They all cried again. It was a pretty big deal. And then, I don't know what happens with them after that. They're just gone. But Odin's back.
holding out my hand for a tag.
And then take it away, Mark.
Dear God, Molly, I also before you went off without the queen, I was implying that I could take over.
No.
And you went, no, I have a job to do.
I said I wasn't done yet. I said I wasn't done yet, and I ripped the microphone away from you.
Odin also talked about finding out truths about the Void Century, what the meaning of the initial D, not the anime, but D is, the ancient weapons, and also found out that Wano had been once connected to the world at large.
That's not a big deal, though.
It's not. It's still a thing of like.
Kind of a big deal.
It's a little bit of a deal.
That information is written down in Odin's journal. That's
is it?
Exactly.
That's like a footnote, right?
That's important. We can also show. While this has been going on, a major. Well, I say major, but it is major, but it was also secret, where we find out how Orochi came to power. Odin's dad, Sukiyaki, was dying, might have already died, when a previous user of the Mane Mane no Mi, right? Is that the Mane?
The shield? The shield fruit?
Not that one.
No, that's
the barrier
face
someone
barrier.
else.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Body?
Bunchans.
No, the clone fruit, which is the Mane Mane no Mi. I remembered it, thank God. A old hag by the name of Kurozumi Higurashi, which is some relative of Orochi that we're never necessarily told.
They're in the past.
They're in the past. The name, the clan Kurozumi got disgraced at some point in the past, and there is a big plot to get while Odin was away to place Orochi in power, so that the family could take revenge on the Kozuki clan for all of the crap that happened.
It's basically a generational feud that this family has with the Kazuki clan.
Yes, and as a result,
the
from-
Sharks versus the Jets, if you will.
if you
A lot
will,
less dancing.
So that we know of so far.
it's not over yet. So we see the previous user of the Mane Mane no Mi, which is interesting. We also see a previous user of the Bari Bari no Mi,
Yes.
that Bardo now has, as a way to protect Orochi. And also with the deception of the Mane Mane no Mi, that is how they install Orochi. They have a fake Odin be like, he's like a brother to me, and a fake Sukiyaki be like, well, in that case, he said he was like a brother to you, so we're gonna install you until he comes back. And everybody was just like, who's this guy? And as a result, when Odin returns and finds out, he's like, I am literally going to kill this person.
And then he goes and tries.
And he goes and tries, and some sort of deal is made where Odin doesn't do a kill, and he ends up making a fool out of himself for like 5 years until it's discovered that he protected all of Wano from Orochi just ravaging the whole everything. Kaido is revealed to be backing Orochi. Everything starts to go downhill, and as a result, Odin and all of his retainers were sentenced to death by being boiled in oil.
Mm-hmm.
But Odin made which is funny. Odin makes a deal.
No, it's not funny.
When you say funny,
Not haha funny, but it's a fun language joke.
Yeah, I get it. And then
Odin was boiled in oil. Get it? Odin made a deal with Kaido, being like, hey, if we can survive for an hour, then we get to go free. Or whoever survives after an hour of being boiled alive gets to go free. And Kaido, probably drunk, was like, this will be entertaining. Let's
What do you
go.
mean, probably.
Depends on how drunk. Like, what level of drunk is he? We'll never know. But Odin raising all of his attainers above his head for an hour keeps them alive, saves their lives.
I wanted to cry.
As you should. That's the proper response. And I did cry.
What a Giga-Chad. We've been saying it
the
whole
most
time.
badass / funny last words.
Which were?
Odin gets better as it boils.
What an asshole.
This is why he's great. Like, I'll be real, so far Odin is like the takeaway from this entire like thing. Like,
Yes.
again, it feels like every section of Wano, it's just like there's one really, really great person, and then everybody else is like, they're kind of there too, or like you're the worst ever, because like there's a lot of worst evers in this one. And Molly, I'm not counting Whitebeard or Rogers in this because we already know them.
I know.
And also, you'd kill me. But like, Odin is just like, hey, everything you've ever heard about me, good and bad, it's all true. Make of that what you will. Anyway, gotta go die. Bye.
Bye.
And then dies.
I think with Odin, we have this really unique situation where before we even know the story that we just discussed this whole episode, we see like Luffy and Nami and like I think that the crew from the Whole Cake crew
That's a whole cake.
react. We see them like facially react to hearing the story we now know when the retainers are telling them that. And I think their reaction is our reactions through this episode of like, what? Who is this freak? That guy's hilarious. Whoa, the ultimate Giga-Chad, and then just open sobbing. Like, I mean, Oda called it. I think that's how we all reacted to it, which is crazy. But it's like the first time that we learned something out of order from the rest of everybody.
I also think that this is the story of Odin and the story of Wano that we learn in this flashback is one of the few times where it's like truly fulfilled. You know, there's some stuff where like since we met Kinemon in Punk Hazard, and we've been gaining more and more members from Wano to be like, yo,
oh my
here's
god, that's right. He came in Punk Hazard. Holy
Yup.
crap!
Kinemon's been
Yeah.
around for a
Years ago.
long time. Yep.
Literally, the setup after the time skip is all Wano. It all led to this. It's all leading to
Dressrosa
this.
is technically a part of the Wano saga.
Yep.
Technically.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
From the setup of like hearing about Wano, hearing about this great society, hearing about this great man, like Momo revealing that he's actually the son of Odin, like from all of this is one of those times where it built up so much, and the execution, no pun intended, was completely fulfilled to me. Like this is such a home run for
Like closing a loop.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we didn't just get, oh, the reason why I called it this one time ago was because of this reason, but we get, here's a whole bunch of stuff, but also we're linking this person, this place to the world and the world's history. We ate very well during this flashback for multiple reasons. Molly already said her piece, but
Sorry, I'm like sitting over here trying not to get emotional about. I mean, we're talking about my whole thing this whole episode, but like the undercurrent of like Kinemon's entire storyline of like everything in this culture, you know what I mean? That's like important to people in this culture of like, not only have we failed, but at least we'll die with honor. And the person that they were fighting for wouldn't even give them that. And like just knowing that their fight's not over. I'm like sitting over here trying not to cry about like the fight's not over for them. And they've come
are you
so
saying that they
far.
have to finish the fight?
Yeah.
Shut
it's
up.
very like
Shut
it's
your
very
mouth.
like Halo
I need a
3.
weapon.
Shut
The-
your
the-
mouth.
The Halo 3 soundtrack is absolutely
Cortana.
playing in the back of my mind right now.
Who's
but
the
it's
most
just like,
Cortana of the 9 Red Scabbards?
Ooh.
Please, no, I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm not.
I'm not. Shut up.
Is this a joke to you? It's
Go
not
off,
a joke to
Queen.
me.
That's nope.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Anyway, it's just
Earmuffs, Molly.
it makes me
Thank God.
Just-
Oh
it
my
makes
God.
me-
Don't worry about it. Nope, nothing. Hey,
It makes me sad.
As-
As much as I love this I love this flashback. The Odin stuff make me sad. It's what an incredible high we had this entire episode, and now we're gonna end on a bummer note.
well, the
We're not
I mean,
even.
a couple of bummer notes.
Yeah, there's a lot
because
more bummer notes. Molly, I hate to break it
Get
to you,
ready.
but we're not even close to the end of what we're supposed
I'm
to do.
gonna try to tighten it up and wrap it up because from this, Odin gets boiled, and
Where?
as far as we know, he's
Where?
dead. Ooh.
Giga-Chad.
We lost another Giga-Chad today, or did we? But with his retainer saved, a manhunt immediately starts, and the Wano that we have been introduced to over the past couple of chapters before the flashback essentially truly begins
Comes
now that
into
Odin
being.
is dead. Yeah. And in attempting to execute the rest of the Kozuki clan and the 9 Red Scabbards, Toki uses her power, as we've heard so very often, to send a bunch of the Scabbards and Momo 20 years into the future,
Yeet.
meeting up to where we are today, whereas we're about to set sail for Onigashima. The boats
Open a portal.
Sorry. Are destroyed, and all hope is lost as seemingly Orochi has found out the plan, and we're screwed. The day that we had been leading up to since this execution, and also knowing like how little time for Kanjuro, Raizo, Kinemon, all of the people that were thrown into the future, how little time has truly passed compared to when they were sent forward is just wild.
It is a fresh wound. Like
Mhm.
when we first meet them, they are still reeling from everything that just happened.
Stop. I said I wasn't gonna cry. Stop.
As all seems lost, we're actually going to stop talking there and come back next episode.
What
All
the
right,
hell,
that's
man?
Sounds right.
Look, we're going to be recording in a couple days already as it is.
Yeah.
So about these stakes, can they get much higher?
Much
Al,
higher.
you as much as everybody know, absolutely. So until we meet again in the land of Wano,
If we meet again.
trying to head to Onigashima. Before we do that, we're let's tell you where you can find us on social media before we sign off. Kaden, let's start with you.
No, start with Molly.
Molly, start with you.
Me? Me? You can find me on Tumblr at Molly Flood, Molly K Flood, if you're looking for memes or art. And we have a Yayo Talk Show Tumblr. Come hang out on Tumblr. Tumblr is great. Forget about the social media war going on right now. It could be settled by this point. I don't know. But just choose Tumblr. Tumblr has been around for years, and you can rely on it. And that's all I'll say.
Maybe we're all posting toots. Who knows?
Maybe we are, Al.
Damn it,
Where,
Al.
what address are you posting toots to?
You can find me on Mastodon at Al McClellan Jr. That's McClellandJR, or whatever else is left standing.
How about you, Caden?
You can find me on Tumblr, Twitch, Blue Sky, and Threads. That's Caden Jensen on all of that, and yeah, I stream, I do all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I got that hot Blue Sky invite. It's fine over there. It's pretty okay over there, everybody. I'll
By
let you
this
know.
point,
It's pretty
by
okay.
this point
World premiere
of the episode dropping, that website has already burned and crashed and been deleted. We don't know it yet.
It's deleted.
It's red sky now.
We're gonna be hashtag canceled by the time this airs.
That's why I like saying you can find me across all social media at Mark B. Donica. Yeah, what do I know, Al? Tell me what I know.
What do you
That makes a lot of sense, and that sounds very simple and easy to do. But think about who you're talking to.
I'm gonna spell my
Not all
name.
of us are so lucky to get their name across all social media platforms.
To be
Some
the
of us-
internet's anything.
Some
Yeah,
of
That's
us
because I know the
are
internet.
fighting
It's not like somebody stole your name on TikTok and you had to make a different name, Mark.
Yeah, I am also fighting a lot of Molly Floods out there. I love when people ask me if I own mollyflood.com, and I go, sorry, you gotta ask the other Molly Floods.
The Council of Mollies.
As one little flavor for the podcast, there's another Molly Flood in Hollywood. She's my second cousin, so I'm already fighting it in the family. She works live action, I work in animation. We stay in our lanes.
What's your lane, Molly?
Except for websites.
I mean, it doesn't really work out. We were both working for Warner Brothers. Her company got absorbed in my company. All right, no, the other way around. We got absorbed. My company. I own a company. I own one of those. No, Discovery got absorbed. No, Discovery absorbed Warner Brothers, but for some reason they made Discovery deal with our email address, and I started getting somebody else's emails, and then through a really funny email chain, I realized it was the other Molly Flood in my family, and we were both at one point working for the same company. That's a little fun fact.
To think people skip the outro, going along with how most arcs have ended. Now that you've listened to the episode, you've joined our crew. With that comes the responsibility of telling your friends, leaving a comment, following us all over social media at Yayo Talk Show, and letting Caden watch the show in one piece. So come aboard, and we'll see you next time on Yayo Talk Show.
Talking about One Piece.